Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Wednesday, so of course that means it's time for another weekly top 10 countdown. This is the final countdown in the month of May because June starts on Saturday, and of course June is the best month of the year because it's my twin's birthday and it's also my birthday in the month of June, so June is the best month there is. My birthday should be a national holiday, but on to this week's top 10 countdown. On this week, in the top 10 countdown world, we're going to be talking about college football. Top 10 loudest college football stadiums. Now, this article I found on AggiesWire.com, but it was an article they shared from USAToday.com. So I'm not quite sure who wrote the article because USA Today has a bunch of writers, but it is from USA Today, courtesy of AggiesWire.com. Now, as I said, it is the top 10 loudest college football stadiums, so that is on the average. So if your team is not on this countdown, you can't say, well, we reached a decibel level of 275 at one time. That's not what this is. This is highest average, loudest average college football stadium. So you can't just be loud for one series or one down or one quarter. It's consistently being loud. Number 10, a stadium that has the capacity of 75,822, and their highest recorded decibel level is 106. That is the home of the Wisconsin Badgers, Camp Randall Stadium. Now, as I go through this, I want to tell you the highest recorded decibels at each stadium and the capacity at each stadium, because obviously the bigger the stadium, the louder it's going to be on the average if everybody in the stadium is doing it. Now, there's only one on here that is not huge, and I mean huge in the world of college football compared to all the other Power 5 teams. Now, most of these smaller teams, their stadiums only hold, 35, 40,000 people. But most of the Power 5 teams have 80 or 85,000 plus stadiums. There's one team on here who's a Power 5 team who's generally a top 10 team, if not a top 5 team, and their stadium is not big compared to all the other Power 5 programs. We'll talk about that when I get there. Number 9, a stadium capacity of 70,083. Their highest decibels 133.6 on the average. Home of the Washington Huskies, Husky Stadium. Number 8, stadium capacity of 86,092, and their highest average decibel is 132.8. Home of the Clemson Tigers, Memorial Stadium. And I told a friend of mine last week that the only true Memorial Stadium is in Clemson, South Carolina. The only true Death Valley is in Clemson, South Carolina. And I told him that because he was talking about a stadium that calls itself Memorial Stadium. I said the only real Memorial Stadium is in Clemson, South Carolina. And when you read the decibel level at Clemson, you see that this is the highest on average because Clemson is 132.8, but yet they're below as far as the average decibels. A lot of teams ahead of them who have a lower average because at times it gets louder. This is just the highest average, but Clemson is number 8. Number 7, a stadium capacity of 101,915. Their highest recorded decibel average is 125.4, and that is Neyland Stadium, home of the Tennessee Volunteers. Number 6, a stadium capacity of 102,780. And for some reason, in the article that I read, their highest decibel average was not listed, so I cannot give it to you. But that is Ohio Stadium, home of the Buckeyes. Again, 10 through 6, Camp Randall Stadium, Husky Stadium, Memorial Stadium, Neyland Stadium, and Ohio Stadium. Number 5, Kyle Field, home of the Texas A&M Aggies, capacity of 110,633, and their highest recorded decibel is 126. So when you've got 110,000 people, your stadium should be loud. But I never will figure out how Texas A&M consistently remains so good as far as fan support. It's 110,000 their stadium holds, and they sell out just about every game. And we're talking about a team that's never won a national championship, and honestly, really, truly, except for maybe a couple of years back in the day when they had R.C. Slocum, they're not even competing for a national championship. You know, they're a borderline top 20 team, but yet they have such good fan support, and I've never understood it and never will, because they bring nothing to the table. They're an average team athletically across the board in all sports, but yet they have strong fan support. Number 4, a stadium capacity of 88,548, highest recorded decibels 115. That's Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, home of the Florida Gators. Number 3, a stadium capacity of 106,572, highest decibels 122, and that's Beaver Stadium. No, that's not home of the Beavers. Beaver Stadium, home of the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Number 2, and this is a stadium I was talking about that's so small compared to most Power 5 teams. This stadium only holds 60,000 people, which is big, but it's small compared to all the other Power 5 programs. 60,000 is stadium capacity. Highest recorded decibels 127, and that is Autzen Stadium, home of the Oregon Ducks. And the loudest college football stadium, if you watch college football regularly, this should not surprise you. Almost every one of their home games is a night game, and everybody that's been to their stadium says that nothing comes close in comparison to how loud their stadium is consistently. Highest recorded decibels 130, stadium capacity 102,321, and that is the Pretend Tiger Stadium, home of the Louisiana State University Tigers. A team that can't even spell go can't be the real Tigers, and last I checked, go does not have an E, an A, a U, or an X. Just like the Georgia Bulldogs can't be a real school because they think that a dog has an A and a W in the spelling. The last I checked, go is not spelled Geous, so the Pretend Tiger Stadium is the home of the Louisiana State Tigers, and their highest decibels, as I said, is 130, And I've read numerous articles over the years, and I've heard stories over the years from different fans, whether they're LSU fans or fans of other teams, that have been to that stadium, and they say they have never experienced anything like it. And it's not just loud for one series or one quarter, it's loud all the time. They can be playing McNeese State, and their fans get into it. I knew a guy one time who actually was a fan of LSU, and he said back in the 60s and 70s, they were awful. They were lucky to win 2 games a year consistently, but yet their stadium was still full, and the fans still cheered all the time, which is the way it should be, but unfortunately, at most schools, it's not that way until you start winning. Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm a lifelong fan. Any thoughts on this? Please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What did Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife? Nothing. He was gladiator. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.